So, you are the darkest class in this game.
Better get a soft spot for dogs.
So, allow me to introduce to you the
BigDonnyCal
Grim Inquisitor
Demonology
Dog Build Guide. You know, if I'd have just recorded this on one place, it would have been so much easier. So much less editing.
Oi, my drillers, it's your geezer, BigDonnyCal here,
For the Demonology Warlock Mythic plus Grim Inquisitor's Demonology Dog Build Guide. So, before I get into this guide, just gonna show you guys a reason to trust me. And that is that I've got KSM. Now, that's all the reason that you need. You can also see on the side that I'm top DPS in the last key I did. So, you know, this build will work and it gives results, my friends. It does give results. So to start off with, what I want to go over is the gear, because this build relies on a legendary. And that legendary is the Grim Inquisitor's Dread Calling. You want to craft this on your neck with haste mastery and a haste gem as well. And what this legendary does is that each soul shard spent on the Hand of Gul'dan increases the damage of your next 4 Dreadstalkers by 4%. Now this stacks up to 30 times, which is crazy. And you can see the stacks right up here in the top right with my very large buffs. And this number, when it gets to 30, that's your max stat, and you'll be blasting off Dreadstalkers. Now you won't always get to 30, but that's the cap, just so you guys know. Now, the stats you want to be aiming for in this build is haste and mastery. It's pretty global across all demonology builds, so if you're looking to play demonology, then going for this haste mastery setup is always best for you. Now you may be wondering, what else do I go for? Versatility and crit ain't the end of the world. I would personally take versatility over crit. However, I do know that crit sims a little bit higher, so if you prefer to play with crit, then by all means you should go for it. Now, as for the set pieces I'm talking about, well, I've gotten KSM with a 2-piece set. That's right. What I have here with my 2-piece set is that Cool Dreadstalkers has a 100% chance to summon an additional Dreadstalker. Which means when you press that Cool Dreadstalker button, you are summoning 3 Dreadstalkers instead of 2 with this set. Honestly, insane. And then your 4 set, which is also very good, do not underestimate this. Your Hand of Gul'dan has a 15% chance per soul shard to summon a Malicious Imp. When slain or imploded, Malicious Imp will either deal 1,902 fire damage to all enemies of your implosion, or deal it to your current target. So that is crazy good, and I'm going to explain to you why when we get onto the Conduit section. So keep this in the back of your mind. The other legendary we play with is of course Unity. We are going to be in the Nightblade Covenant, as that is just best for Warlock in general. Personally, I've gone for having Unity on the ring with haste mastery, enchant 16 haste with a gem of 16 haste, because I want as much haste as possible, being a Demolock. And what we get is, as a Night Fae, we get Decaying Soul Satchel. Each target affected by Soul Rot increases your haste and critical strike chance by 5% for 8 seconds. Now, I think this has a max stack of 4? Not 100% sure, as, you know me, I'm a Necrolord fanboy, and I've been running with this legendary for long enough to really understand it inside and out, but it will be a buff either way, and definitely want to be using this on multiple ads when you can. As for trinkets, it's a topic for debate. You can run with Soul-Letting Ruby and Infinitely Divisible Oozling. Very strong combo. I definitely recommend it, especially for raiding. But you could also run with Scars of Eternal Strife and the First Sigil. Both trinkets that are a little bit more difficult to come by, as they drop from the Sepulchre of the first one's raid. However, I've been testing them lately, and oh my god, they do a lot. But I'm going to leave tricky discussion to another video. So yeah, that's it for gear really. Let's move on to Conduits. We are here live in Zereth Mortis to talk to you about Conduits and Soulbinds. Unfortunately with this panel, it's forced my camera over here. Hey! But we'll do. We'll have to make do. So, what I recommend playing is you have the choice between Naya and Dreamweaver. The ideal scenario for Dreamweaver, especially as it sims better, is when you have opportunities to stand still for, 10 seconds? 12 seconds, 12 seconds. Because of this one trait, Soul Rot puts flowers at your feet for 12 seconds that increase your haste by 15% when you stand within them. It's like this little mystical blue circle that will appear under your feet, and you want to be standing in that to get your haste bonus. But if you're in a scenario where you're very movement heavy, let's say in the bosses of Halls of Atonement, for example, let's say the third boss, gotta move quite a bit for that, then I would recommend taking Naya, as you just get flat out damage increases, especially when you have this trait that increases your maximum health and mastery, and when you cast Soul Rot, you get 8 stacks of this, so, you know, that's big damage increase, especially since your Tyrant benefits from maximum health. It's a no-brainer really. So, what Conduits do I recommend taking? As for endurance, strongly recommend Accrued Vitality, Condensed Animosphere, and Diabolic Bloodstone. When you're in larger groups, Diabolic is definitely a much better pick, because there's going to be more people using your health stones, you know? In a raid group, that's 20 people that could use your health stones. So in a dungeon group, it's only 5 people. And also, with Accrued Vitality, if you Soul Rot Drain Life as a defensive option, then you're going to recover your health a lot faster with this Conduit, and be able to get right back into the damage. As for Finesse Conduits, the first one I'd recommend is Demonic Momentum, as that is a movement speed increase, which feels very, very nice as a Demonology Warlock. And then if you do have the second Finesse slot, which I believe you do as Naya, let's just check, yep, I would definitely go for Fell Celerity to reduce the cooldown of Fell Domination, and in the worst case scenario, you can go and summon a new demon. As for Potency Conduits, let's just scroll down a little bit. Soul Eater, I would never take. Fell Commando, you also don't take in dog build because you don't play with the Demonic Strength talent, and I'll go on to that in a little bit more detail. Definitely Born of Blood, Hand of Gul'dan has a chance to generate a charge of Demonic Core. That's really good, so that means more instant cast, and Demonic Core gives you a Demon Bolt. Instant cast that, you get 2 Soul Shards. By the way, you never hard cast Demon Bolt. Remember that, stream. Now, Tyrant Soul, when your Tyrant expires, you get a stack of Demonic Core, as we just discussed, very good. And your demons deal 19% extra damage for 15 seconds! I know, crazy. Very, very strong. It basically just prolongs your your high damage window. And this damage increase is after your Tyrant is gone. Just remember that. Your Tyrant goes and you have 19% extra damage, or whatever the number is based on your Conduit level, and based on how this Golden Circle runs out. Then Carnivorous Stalkers. Oh, this is what you really want for dog build, because your Dreadstalker's attacks have a 5.7% chance to trigger an additional Dread Bite. Now, I did lie earlier when I was talking about the 4-piece set that I talk about why that 4-piece is so strong. I am going to talk about that in the talent section, but this Conduit really contributes to the talent as well. So, without further ado, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. Let's go talk about some talents. Oi, my drillas, welcome to the heart of being a warlock, Dreadscar Rift. You're all the Oh, okay. You don't care about that. You want to know about the talents. Right, let me tell you what talents you pick. I mean, it's there in front of you, so if you want to copy this, then just jot that down now and skip to the next section. But if you want a detailed explanation, then let me tell you. So, Dreadlash is going to make your Dreadstalkers charge into battle with your Dreadbite now being an AoE attack and deal more damage. Now with 3 Dreadstalkers and that potency conduit kind of Stalkers we were talking about earlier, that's going to be huge AoE damage, especially when you buff them up with your Grim Inquisitor's Dread Calling. Honestly, it pumps. I've seen bursts that have been like 60k in some packs from one Dreadstalker summon. It's crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. You also want Demonic Calling, as when you cast Shadow Bolt or you cast Demon Bolt, you have a 20% chance to make your cool Dreadstalkers an instant cast and free, which is extra pog for one of the talents I'm going to talk about later on down this row. Let me know if you already know what that is. I also recommend picking Burning Rush, as it allows you to be more mobile. If you're not so experienced as a warlock, Demon Skin is a very good talent to pick as someone newer to the class, in my opinion, as you don't have to worry about the health loss of Burning Rush, and you don't have to actively press a defensive ability. And if you are in scenarios where you do need that extra defensive ability, I find myself only really needing that in arenas though, then Dark Pact is still a very good choice. I believe all the talents on this row are very good choices for warlocks. Now, the next talent you're going to go for is From the Shadows, which means Dreadbite causes the target to take 20% additional Shadow Flame damage from you for the next 12 seconds. Now this is crazy, as your Dreadlash makes that Dreadbite an AoE, so everyone gets affected by From the Shadows, and if you get another Dreadbite, then boom, that's crazy Dreadbite damage. And you're probably going to see this the most when you either get a Carnivorous Stalker's proc, or you summon a new pack of Dreadstalkers from the relic in Mythic Plus, and that's going to be insane damage. But you remember how I was talking about that 4-piece earlier? That Malicious Imp does Shadow Flame damage. You do an implosion after summoning your Dreadstalkers. Oh my god, the damage is unreal. It's unreal straight. Like, oh, especially after a Tyrant window when you have like 27 imps. You implode them with this debuff up, and you will be topping meters, my friend. You'll be topping meters, and no one will be beating you. Everyone will cry that you are broken, and you'll be just flexing at the top of the meters, enjoying your life. This is our time to shine, Demonology Warlocks. Let's get it. Now, the next talent I recommend picking is Mortal Coil. Well, the other two are really good CC options. I do personally prefer Mortal Coil over all of them. Especially in stuff like Spiteful Weeks. You have a Spiteful coming towards you, boom, Mortal Coil them away. Worst case scenario, you can also throw a stun out. Dark Fury is also a very strong pick for Shadow Fury, as you can cover your whole team with it. But the thing that really sells Mortal Coil to me is that you get a heal from it. And that heal is crazy good. One note I would say about Mortal Coil or Howl of Terror is anything that is moving in a very risky direction, immediately go to apply your Curse of Exhaustion to slow the target's movement speed by 50%. You're going to want to do that very quickly. Now, Soul Conduit. Every Soul Shard you spend has a 15% chance to be refunded, which is crazy good. You know, you cast your Hand of Gul'dan with your 3 Soul Shards, and what? Oh, you got 3 Soul Shards again? Do it again! But you may have been wondering what I was meaning earlier when I was talking about Demonic Calling. Well, when you get your Demonic Calling proc, and with Soul Conduit, your Dreadstalkers have a chance to actually give you Soul Shards. Just like back in Legion with our Legendary, your Dreadstalkers can be Soul Shard generators if you're lucky enough. And, oh, let me tell you, stream, it feels really good to have it that way. And the last talent I recommend going is Demonic Consumption. This is really good, especially in Tyrannical Weeks, when you just need to get that Tyrant buffed up. Unfortunately, Nether Portal is just a ruined talent. I really hope Blizzard do something with this sometime soon. make it so much better, because it can be really cool and really fun to have such a huge demonic army. And sacrifice souls, well, you'd only really place if you are a Necrolord to buff demon bolts, but even then, demonic consumption still outweighs that. The Tyrant is just insanely strong. And that's really the talent breakdown. Now what I'm going to do is show you an example of the rotation on some training dummies over in the Captain of the Horde.
Lupta!
Oi, my drillers, I'm just going to show you guys a very quick single target build up with this build. So what I'd recommend is you start using the Scars of Total Strife, build your 5 soul shards. Let's get Hand of Gul'dan out. Shadowbot again, get Hand of Gul'dan out. Let's go summon our Dreadstalkers. Gonna go summon our Tyrant now. Quickly Trinket and Soul Rot standing in this blue circle. You see that there. Keep using Hand of Gul'dan. Summon your imps out. Just keep blasting Hand of Gul'dan. You see the stacks of Grim Inquisitor rising. Going really well. Lots of imps to implode. Tyrant's about to run out. And now we just quickly summon Dreadstalkers and implode, and crazy damage. As you can see, like 20k there. Just on a little single target training dummy. Okay, it is cleaving onto the adjacent dummy, so never mind. But yeah, this is just the example of how you'd be playing Demonology Warlock. You want to be managing your demonic core stacks, trying to make as best use of it as possible, reacting to soul shards you gain back. And yeah, that's kind of like your single target burst. So, what are my tips and tricks for utilizing your damage as best as possible around Tyrant? So, when it comes to single target, you want all your demons going into your Tyrant. That's how it's going to be. Your Tyrant is your single target pumper, if I'm honest. So, you want to be summoning your imps and your Dreadstalkers before you cast Tyrant. Now, when it comes to AoE packs, I'd actually summon the Tyrant just before you summon your Dreadstalkers, or if you're not at 30 stacks yet, then you could opt to you could opt to get more imps from the 5 soul shards you get from your Tyrant before summoning your Dreadstalkers, and that will give you extra damage. Now, as for Soul Rot, as you can see here, I cast Soul Rot right now, and I get this little blue circle under me. This blue circle here, that's your haste buff. That's what you get from Dreamweaver. For Naya, you don't have to look out for anything. You just get a buff. So, you know, much easier. And yeah, that really is it. Just, it's that simple with this build. Probably one of the easier builds. You just need to kind of keep a track of all your buffs, track of your demonic core. Like, if you really want to do well, then you'll make sure to completely utilize your demonic core. Like, don't overcap. You can only go up to 4 stacks. And yeah, that really is it, stream. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide. It's a pleasure to make these guides for you. And the next guide I will be making is the raid build, which utilizes the Wilfred's Superior Summoning Legendary, which is actually still very similar to my previous 9.1 Demonology Warlock guide. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out, because that still has some useful information for you. And yeah, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions or you want any more videos, be sure to put your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please leave a like and share to anyone who might find this useful, as it really supports my channel out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!